folks. It's Bryon Howard, and welcome to another edition of Living in Marda Loop. Today on the show, I have the pleasure of being here with Naz Virani of Serena Homes. Welcome to the show, Naz.
Thanks, Bryon. Thanks for having me.
Naz, I had the pleasure of being in one of your great products recently, and got the chance to, meet you and do a elbow boom as we were
Yeah.
both masked. And it's nice to see your whole face here this morning on Zoom. Naz, tell me a little bit about Serena Homes, and you've been very, very active in our community of Marda Loop. Tell us a little bit about Serena and why you're so active in Marda Loop.
Bryon, Serena's been around for just over 16 years, and we started the company building single-family homes in Chestermere. And we just did a couple of projects, and we quickly moved to the inner city. We were seeing how cities grow, and quite frankly, it was easier to purchase, 1 to 2, 3 parcels in the inner city rather than 15 or 20 parcels in the kind of green areas. And so being a small company, it was much easier to shift over to the inner city. About 15 years ago, we started building fourplexes. And so those are the days of, RM2, RM4 zoning. That
Right.
zoning has evolved into RCG over the last 10 to 12 years. But that's really, how we started the business is building these quad models of 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then we did our row townhomes. And so we did that for a number of years, and then we slowly progressed into building apartments and mixed use buildings. And here we are today building in Marda Loop.
You make a beautiful product, and I know a lot of happy homeowners. What is it that customers and your clients love about the service you provide or the product you provide?
Well, we try to be efficient with our spaces. When we were building townhomes, you're selling square feet. And so making sure that the spaces are practical, they're thoughtful, efficient when it comes to value, I think is something that homeowners appreciate. And then we move towards doing a good job of finishing details and making sure that the buildings are clean and modern and simple. I think is another thing that homeowners or our buyers appreciate as well.
Nice, very good. I know there's lots of exciting things coming up with Serena's Homes, and particularly work that you're currently busy at right now in Marda Loop. Tell us a little bit about the excitement that's happening in our community.
For sure. Marda Loop is close to my heart, and it's a community that we've been active in for the last 12 to 13 years. We've probably built around 60 to 70 townhomes in the community over the years. Recently, over the last 4 years or so, we've been building condos. We were able to complete Avenue 33, a mixed-use building, probably about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. We just completed Coco. It's a 74-unit condo building earlier this year. And currently, we're working on the Harrison. The Harrison is a 63-unit mixed-use building, which we're currently under construction. We have a couple more projects, in the pipeline that are under planning over the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, that's exciting. What are some of your future goals? 74 units, that's a lot of units. Will you ever build something bigger than that? It sounds like you're pretty close with the Harrison at 63.
Yeah, I think when it comes to 4 to 6 story buildings, I think that sweet spot is probably in the 70 to 100 units. Going beyond 100 units makes it a little bit more difficult for many reasons, even in terms of risk as well, aside from building code. So I think in terms of number of units or size of project, I think that's where we want to be, is in that range when we're building 4 to 6 story condos or apartments or mixed use. But really what excites us is transforming, the neighborhood. And it's a long-term vision that involves many different things. It involves partnering with the city in developing that main street. The city has allocated $30 to $35 million in beautifying 33rd Avenue as well as 34th Avenue. We're going to see that come to life over the next 5 to 8 years. And so we're excited to contribute to that beautification
Mm.
by perhaps even bringing art to some of the street corners on that main street. The city's going to look at traffic calming measures. The city's going to look at adding more trees, lighting, street furniture. We're excited to work with the city to really transform this neighborhood into a world-class neighborhood where that walk is a lot more interesting.
Oh, that's
And the other thing that we can provide along the street is density in housing so that these neighborhoods can be sustainable.
mm.
And so small businesses in the area have the population growth to be sustainable. And so that's definitely what we're working towards over the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, that's wonderful. Terrific. What do you love most about Marda Loop? What do you like about the neighborhood? I mean, you've mentioned it already a few times, but what is it? And you have a vision to the improvement of it. What do you like about it now, and how do you see it in 10 years?
Marda Loop's got tremendous potential. And I still think we're early days in bringing vibrancy and filling out the neighborhood. Where do we start? I love the proximity. I mean, very close to downtown, easy to get to. Marda Loop is close to, a wonderful array of schools. There's a lot of schools in and around that inner city southwest area. Great proximity to the hospitals, with Rockview and even Foothills. We have many buyers or homeowners that work in both hospitals. Marda Loop is amenity rich. Sandy Beach is wonderful for a dog park and the river and the picnic spots that are by the river over there. The baseball field, the volleyball courts, there's going to be an improvement to the rec center and the swimming pool. Sea Space was a wonderful addition to the community and bringing the art community into that building.
Mm.
And we've got a wonderful assortment of local business. I think there's some awesome restaurants and some awesome fitness boutique studios that are in the community. It's becoming a neat village for people to walk to, these various businesses and services and amenities.
Mhm.
So I think I see the potential, and I love that about Marda Loop.
Nice. It's funny as the city grows and changes, and I don't flex this. I mean, time flies, but it doesn't really. I moved to Calgary in 2003 from the East Coast and choose this community of Marda Loop, Altador, in 2004 by my first property in Alberta. And I bought it for all the reasons that you speak of. Well, that's 16 years ago now that I bought my first house in the area. And it just gets better and better and better, in my opinion. I just like it more and more and more. So anyway, interesting. Naz, how do people reach out? What kind of ask would you have of our audience today as we sort of conclude here in the interview?
That's a good question. I think neighbors and residents of Marda Loop, I guess my ask would be is to be part of the process in building a world-class neighborhood. And so how do we do that? I think as a neighbor stakeholder, I think number one is being open to change. And it's tough. I work with neighbors quite frequently and through the planning process, and accepting change in the pursuit of smart growth is tough. I get it. But also seeing the benefit towards smart growth and seeing the benefit of bringing new neighbors in to provide a more walkable lifestyle with more amenity and services to be sustainable. We need to bring some density in a thoughtful, sensitive way to the community. And there's benefit through that on the main streets. And so I think just being open to change and working with developers like myself, as well as the city, in transforming the community to be more vibrant.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love your ask. So get involved and be open and open to change, I guess, is kind of the ask as I hear it. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Perfect. Yeah,
Naz,
well, thanks, Bryon. I appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me and share some of the stuff that we're doing in the community.
Well, thanks for being on the show. I want to wish you safe times and happy holidays as we approach the holiday season, and look forward to seeing you again.
You bet. Have a good one.
Thank you, Naz.
Bye.